Welcome back, everybody. So I used to get a kick out of saying we've got all our heating firewood from the property, but as of this week we can't say that anymore. In this video we're going to talk about where this wood came from, how it got here, and how much we didn't have to pay for it. So stay tuned, I'll walk you through that. Crazy to think we go through all this sweating just to stay warm through the winter here, but as much work as it is swinging this splitting maul, it's easier than lifting these big heavy red oak grounds up onto that splitter when they're green. Even when they're dry, pretty heavy. I can do a few of them, but I get worn out pretty quick. I can swing this maul without too much strain for several hours. So whether you're scratching and clawing and year after year you're trying to figure out how to keep your family warm throughout the winter, or you've got more money than you know what to do with and you just like scratching that primitive heating with firewood gene, I think this video will apply to you. I fall somewhere in the middle. I think it's a great, efficient way to heat our home with our property, and that's why we do firewood. It's a fun hobby that I can do right out the back door. Don't have to spend a lot of money, and it's great exercise. So that's what we're going to walk through today, and I'll show you how we got this here. So true to my claim, all this wood you see behind me and in these rounds, it did come from the property here, though I did not have to cut these trees down, the ones that are in rounds still. These were dropped on the edge of the driveway by a tree clearing company that was hired by the power company. They're maintaining the lines, and we had a lot of hardwood come down on our property, and they left it for us. And you saw in a previous video, we brought it up here, got a little bit more shade, and we're starting to process it, get it dried for next winter, hopefully. Long story short, I ran into the foreman of that tree company, and they're always looking for places to dump wood. They're an out-of-town tree company, and new to the area, and they're looking for new connections. A lot of the tree companies that are in town and around town, they sell firewood themselves. So a lot of trees that they cut, they'll bring back to their own wood yard and process and sell on their own. So that's a harder route. So this was an example of being in the right place at the right time. So the hardest and most dangerous part of our firewood operation is getting the trees out of the woods up here into the field where we process them. It's a lot of work. It's not super fast with our compact tractor. It's very enjoyable. I love being out in the woods. Any excuse I'll get, even if I'm sweating. But yeah, pretty dangerous and not super fast. So this process cut out that whole step. I still get in the woods for all kinds of other things, but it's not going to be to haul firewood out for the foreseeable future. I'm starting to get caught off guard giving advice on this channel. I'm realizing the majority of my audience here is men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, so quite a bit older than me. But I'll still give advice for the folks my age and younger, or just starting to get into this. It may come as no secret to you, but I believe the secret to getting what you want is to ask. And if you have something to offer, there's a much higher chance that you get what you're asking for. So in my case, I'm an easygoing guy. I'm blessed to have a big, relatively flat, easy place to turn a giant log truck around. No hassle. You don't have to mess with traffic or any tight spaces. You can drop whatever you want off here. Easy turnaround. My house is on the edge of town. I'm not really on the way to anything, and I live on a dead-end road, so it is a certain extent out of their way to get here, but they don't have to pay to drop off their excess wood. I'll gladly take it, and we're going to get it processed. So in our case, we weren't really looking for more wood. We were surrounded by more wood than we know what to do with. We just got to do that step of pulling it out of the woods, which we enjoy. But now we've got it at our doorstep, and we'll be able to process it quicker, more efficiently, and safer ultimately. We've got some giant stuff in there. We've got some really good firewood stuff. The driver of the truck said he's got enough to fill up the field. But the foreman, all he said was, thank you, and give me a call when you've had too much. So I figured they're just going to keep coming. We'll cut them off eventually. I don't want that pile of wood to be in the field in perpetuity. We'll see how quickly it goes once I start cutting it up with the equipment we have. But we'll see. Thank you all for being subscribed. We got plenty more firewood content, tractor content, farm content all on the way. Like I said, we take the good with the bad here. Some of the first load was a big bull pine, and I got a little nervous. This is a, I don't know, 36-inch plus. We call them bull pines. This is a variation of a white pine. Maybe it's just a big white pine. That's what we call them. It's not going to be super fun to process, but we're going to get a lot of camp firewood or firewood out of it if we want to. Yeah, there's quite a lot of it's in strange lengths like you saw there. We got a bunch of stuff at 2 foot and quite a few pieces still over 12 feet. So maybe I'll set some of these aside in case we get a sawmill somewhere down the road, but we're having fun. And like I said, the secret to getting what you want is to ask. Even if you don't end up getting stuff for free, I bet you could get a deal if you just ask. Reach out to the local tree companies. Like I said, where I am, a lot of them process their own firewood just as a extra income, but a lot of them, especially like this stuff is destined for a landfill in most places. But if you want to work hard enough at it, you start breaking it up and you stay warm for the winter. So that's all I got for today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you at the next one.